Everyone, for the delay. Executive session ran a little longer than we thought. So I would like to make a motion that we return to open session. Look for a second.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne.
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler.
Aye.
Mr. Darcy.
Aye.
Unanimous vote to return to public session and conduct business for September 25th.
All right, session is open. As I outlined prior, I'm going to start this section with the chairman's comments. I'm trying to give updates to everybody when things are drawn to my attention that could help clarify things for the public. So, this evening, like the last, I wish to update the public regarding the first town hall infrastructure refresh in 50 years. The last meeting, I outlined the updates since there seemed to be some repetitive conversations that it only involved bathroom renovations. The improvement list was quite lengthy, and I was hopeful that this clarified everything for everyone, the exact scope of the project. Subsequently to last meeting's update, a narrative has been promoted on whose authority was this work done at Town Hall. Well, the update was on the warrant for April 25th, 2022. And I'll quickly read it for you. It says, Article 3, the town will vote to appropriate a sum of $900,000 from unexpended funds initially borrowed to finance costs for the senior center construction project, and is approved under the vote of the town passed November 18, 2019, which project is now complete and which has no further financial liability remains, and the transfer sum to the town hall renovation account to pay for costs associated to renovations at town hall, including all incidental and related thereto, or to take any other action relative thereof, and that was passed at town meeting. Subsequently, after starting this project, like I think anyone, I brought this up last time, has done a major project in their home, you open up walls and all of a sudden you find things that you never expected. Well, we did too. We found out that in this 50-year-old building, to meet second floor load, we had to increase the structural integrity for the second floor. A further article was passed on April 24th, 2023, Article 4, to pay for the costs related to meeting current building codes. So if anyone has any question to answer, under whose authorization was this money spent, it was by the citizens at town meeting. Further, I'd like to say to everyone that may be struggling to hear me this evening, I know, and this team knows as much, that it's difficult, especially with this going on behind me, how difficult it can be sometimes to hear us here. We all try to speak up. If you be kind of do the same, if you speak. And we're in the process of getting a solution to that so we can amplify and not get the feedback in the loop here. And so, again, I'd like to thank everyone for letting me clarify these misunderstandings, because just because you repeat something over and over doesn't make it factual. So thank you very much. With that, I would like to move to our first appointment, which is poll hearing, Dyke Road. Anyone here for Dyke Road? Welcome.
Hello.
Kind enough to identify yourself?
Certainly. Don Vonner for Verizon.
Thank you, sir.
You can sit at the table.
Yeah, you come on down, sit up front.
Oh, okay.
We can hear you better, too. And if you could just project for everyone.
And Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
you want to read the hearing?
Yes, I'm going to read the public hearing notice for you. In conformity with the requirements of Section 22 of Chapter 166 of the General Laws, you are hereby notified that a public meeting will be held at Marshfield Town Hall, Select Board Chamber, 870 Moraine Street, Marshfield, Massachusetts, on the 25th day of September 2023, 6:30 p.m., upon the petition of Verizon New England, North Star Electric, DBA Eversource Energy, dated July 26th, 2023, for permission to erect or construct and a location for a line of wires, poles, or other fixtures as may be necessary to sustain or protect the wires of the line upon, along, across, or under the following public ways of said town. So now, we've now read the notice, and you have the floor, sir.
To specify on what you just said, it's one pole going over the roadway. It's going to be an inline pole over Town Pier Road. Actually, it's Joseph Drybeck Way. And the main purpose of this pole, I went out and checked the measurements. They're accurate too. I assume you have the drawing in front of you. The measurements are accurate. And the purpose of the pole is to keep the wires up because they're hanging a little bit low. And if there are 18-wheelers going under that road, it's probably a good safety measure to take.
Thank you. Okay. Any discussion from the board?
No, sir.
No. Any discussion from the public? Okay. Well, then, hearing none, I would like to make a motion for the board to approve the request for Verizon New England and N-Star Electric Company, DBA Eversource Energy, to install one JO pole 96-4.5 on the southerly side of Dyke Road. The new location being approximately 68 feet southwest of the center line of Plymouth Ave and is 65 feet southeasterly of the existing pole 96-4 and is 85 feet northeasterly of the existing pole 96-5 to erect and maintain poles, wires, and cables, together with anchors, guides, and other such sustaining and protecting fixtures they may be necessary. And said poles will be erected substantially in accordance with the plan filed with here within marked VZN period E period, Inc. Plan MA 2023-20 dated April 10th, 2023. This installation is being requested by Eversource to upgrade existing services and to shorten the span distance between two existing poles and to prevent sagging wire. Look for a second.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fidler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to approve.
Thank you all.
Thank you, sir, for coming in. We're plenty past the timeline here, so we're definitely move on to the next appointment, which is the Revolutionary War Honor Roll Committee update. Is anyone here for that? Yes. Thank you very much. Kind enough just to state your name.
Tom
first.
Whalen, Old Main Street.
Thank you for coming in, Mr. Whalen.
We want to update you, the selectmen authorized this committee in 2021. We've been meeting ever since. Besides myself, the committee is Bert O'Donnell, Cindy Castro, Jim Murin, Barry Sweeney, and Mike Maresco. So we've been meeting monthly, sometimes I'll take longer, but over the past almost 2 years, we've come up with a list of people that we're fairly certain were in the Revolutionary War from the town of Marshfield. We'll go into that in a few minutes. And we've also found a site. We've looked around town for sites, and we've actually picked the green at the town of Marshfield, in the Marshfield Town Hall. So I'd like to call up Bert O'Donnell. Bert's the one that's been working with this. Bert?
Welcome, Mr. O'Donnell.
Good evening. So, not sure if you all had a chance to look at the presentation, but we propose to locate this honor roll out on the town green area out here in front of Town Hall, close to the World War II honor roll. It seems like the two would be complementary. We'd like to also add a walkway both to this monument and also over to the World War II honor roll. We would also be able to access this, meet ADA requirements by using the town hall parking lot and the ramps that exist at the front of town hall, and then walk down the porch area, and then out onto the town green with walkways we intend to put in to be ADA compliant with a ramp to get there. The honor roll itself would be a obelisk-shaped monument with the names of the approximately 180 veterans that we've identified. It would require taking one tree that's located out there. It's a tree, it's about 6 inches in diameter. I'm not sure if it was planted or if it was just left there when they constructed Town Hall, but it's, in order to keep the town green available for any other activities that take place there, we feel it'd be the best place. It'd also be visible from Snow Road, and, be good access also to the World War II honor roll. We wanted to come in front of Select Board now because we intend to put an application into CPC for funding. The funding we're looking for is approximately $126,000. That would include the monument, the engraving, and also the walkways to the monument. I think that's most of what I have, unless there's any questions.
Thank you for doing this. I think it's great that we finally are recognizing Marshfield's participation in the Revolutionary War. Were you surprised at how many people from such a small town participated? How did that process go?
Well, actually, I'll turn my seat over to Jim Murrin. He's been maintaining the database. We've all worked on this, but he can speak about that. But it has been interesting. We've learned a lot.
I'm Jim Murrin,
Murrin.
member of the committee.
Thanks for doing this work.
Yeah, thank you. It's been an interesting process. I can't tell you how many names I thought were going to be on this list. I had no idea. But just to kind of give you a timeline, in March of 2002, when we first really compiled the efforts, combined efforts of all of us, we came up with 207 names. A few months after that, September of 2022, we had 256 names, so it had grown considerably, over 50 names more than the initial list. And then what we did was, rather than continue just looking for more names, we looked at the names that we already had compiled and decided, what do we really have here? And what we found were there were a lot of duplicates. So back in the day, names were spelled phonetically. So we would see 4 names that in reality was one person. So F-O-R-D, F-O-O-R-D-E, multiple spellings of the same name. And it really was it was sort of a judgment call we made, but it was pretty obvious that we had a lot of duplicates that way. Then there were others that had an association with the town of Marshfield. They actually responded to the alarm that was sounded on the 19th of April in 1775, not only to go to Lexington, but to come to Marshfield. So there was a lot of folks in this South Shore area that responded to that alarm that are considered Revolutionary War veterans. What we figured out, though, is they came to Marshfield. They were not from Marshfield. So that's another big chunk of the names that got us down to the current number of 185. And the spreadsheet includes the name, rank, if there is a rank, any comments that we have about that particular person, the source or sources that we use to get those names from. If we know where the grave location is, that's noted, and also the birth and death year of the veteran. The 4 sources that we finally arrived at using are the Sons of the American Revolution, Daughters of the American Revolution, an excellent volume of Revolutionary War information from the state archives called the Massachusetts Soldiers and Sailors and the War of the Revolution collection, and then finally this Family Search website. Many of you may have already used that for your own work, but it turned out to be very, very helpful. So if there's Any questions? That's kind of the 2-minute summary of what we've done in the last 2 years.
Thank you. Any questions, comments from my colleagues?
I was lucky enough to sit in on one of your meetings, as you know, so welcome. I'm happy to see you here in this chamber. Will you just share with the board a little bit more about the placement in relationship to the current monument that we have there? And
Well,
because I thought that was very interesting.
if you lived in this town for any amount of time, the World War II monument, I consider it an orphan. No one's ever been there. It's not accessible, and it just sits there for all these years. There's 240 names of Marshfield residents who fought in the Second World War. I don't even know, on Veterans Day, we don't go there, do we, Mike?
No.
So we don't even, on Veterans Day, when we start out, there should be a ceremony at least there. Now we'll have 2 monuments reflecting 2 war periods in America. And I think by us incorporating the both together, I think it's going to improve the situation for the World War II one, and hopefully the Revolutionary one will play off of that one, so.
Okay. So I just want to commend your group, all of you, and working diligently to get to this point. And our history for the town of Marshfield is critically important on how we live our lives now and how we treat, those that came before us, and how we're going to behave in the future. So thank you for all your hard work.
Actually, if you could put up the 3rd page of the presentation, that would answer your question about the location.
Yeah, thank you.
Right there.
There it is.
So that shows the walkway off of Town Hall and the additional walkway over to the World War II Memorial, and the location of where we propose to put the Revolutionary War Memorial, in the location where that tree is.
How many hours have you all put into this project collectively?
Well, we only meet once a month,
Yeah,
but everybody has homework in between that month.
Right.
yeah.
And we couldn't tell you how many hours. I mean, me and Jim just spent 3 hours at my house just upgrading the spreadsheet.
Spreadsheet, yeah.
So the spreadsheet is always in flux until we actually figure out how many people were actually there. We're trying to get something from the Plymouth Museum.
Yeah.
They have the records of all the people who served from Plymouth County, but it's been a year and a half. They haven't really cooperated with us to get we'd like to get a listing. They tried the transcription of it, but someone starts it, he leaves, someone else starts it, so it's an unfinished document.
Yeah.
So we probably have a dozen more people we'd like to put on the spreadsheet, but we can't find out if they're from Marshfield. So we're gonna work right up on that until we start cutting the names into the monument.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you all for doing that, all the time you put in. It's really important, and I hope that you can find someone on your committee who knows how to present an application as CPC. Bert, do you know anyone?
Got an expert.
Mr. Marisco.
Well, once again, I'd like to say thank you very much for all your work. I think it's going to look great. Yes, you.
Off of one. So, we've had some really fun meetings. We've spent some beautiful days outside touring all of the cemeteries and reading these stones. And some people even cleaning them to make it easier to read. And if you go at certain times, you can read the writing better, because, these are stones from 248 years ago, 250 years ago, so.
Yeah.
I'd just like to make one comment.
Certainly.
The town of Marshfield was lost in the history of America in 1775. Little is said about how the town got started in the Revolution. There was only 2 towns occupied in Massachusetts. That was Boston, and it was Marshfield. They had 100 redcoats here in Marshfield. So, on April 19, 1775, there were 2 alarms in Massachusetts. One was for Concord and Lexington. The other one was for Marshfield. But there was 400 men, over 400 men in Marshfield, ready to get the redcoats out of there. But somebody blinked. They waited another day, and then they took the redcoats out in ships. So we lost our day. But we were there. But nobody knows about this. I've been to several places. I was out in where was I? In Concord. I was talking to the curator of their museum out there. He knew nothing about any attack in Marshfield. So we kind of, it's like they call it the almost Battle of Marshfield, but we did a number of things leading up to the revolution in this town that most towns didn't do. We had our own tea party here and some other stuff. So we kind of lost it. So I think at some point, I'd like to, get a committee together or something, just to look into that. And we should start celebrating our day, April 19th here in this town, because we were there and we were ready to battle.
Well, thank you for those words. So without any further comment from anyone then, I'd like to make a motion for the board to support and approve the location design of the proposed Marshfield Revolutionary War Veterans Honor Roll as requested by the committee. The honor roll in the 19th century obelisk-style design, which would approximately have 180 names on it, I heard 185,
Yep.
Revolutionary War veterans to be located on the town green at Town Hall. To be ready for the 250th anniversary of the Revolutionary War with the potential dedication on July 4th, 2026, or could be on April 19th, 2026, to be determined by the committee members.
Yes.
And I'd look for a second.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne.
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler.
Aye.
Mr. Darcy.
Aye.
Unanimous vote to approve the support and location and design.
Nice job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. And lady? Next, we have at 6:45, under our appointments section, James Marathis is Marshfield Housing Authority update. Welcome, Mr. Marathis.
Welcome.
State your name.
Welcome, members of the board. Mike, Secretary, thank you for having us tonight. James Marathis, Executive Director for the Marshfield Housing Authority. I was asked to come tonight to present to you the improvements that have happened at the Marshfield Housing Authority since the Quincy Housing Authority has taken over management of the Marshfield Housing Authority. So I've prepared a little PowerPoint presentation for you this evening, and I can answer questions as we go if you'd like. Quincy Housing Authority, this is a picture of some of the employees and the staff of the Quincy Housing Authority, just to give you a little background. We have about 80 employees. We manage 5 agencies in the state. We manage the Marshfield Housing Authority, the Holbrook Housing Authority, the Hanson Housing Authority, Hingham Housing Authority, and Quincy Housing Authority. We manage just a total of about 3,800 units of housing throughout the state. Some of those are owned and some of those are Section 8. My little button here is not working. So how we got to Marshfield was we started out in 2020 with a 1-year agreement that ran until 2021, and then we entered into a 5-year agreement in 2022 that takes us to 2027. DHCD set out a public housing notice for housing authorities to make a decision on whether or not they wanted to have an executive director or whether or not they wanted to have a managing agency. A lot of the smaller agencies throughout the Commonwealth are now going with management agreements. One of the reasons is the inefficiencies of having one employee at an agency and having that one employee have an enormous responsibility. And that responsibility grows every day. Some of the benefits that we receive from having a management agreement is you overcome the staffing limitations that you have when you just have one person trying to do all of the work. It improves performance. It increases future subsidy for poor performing LHAs. It provides a higher level of housing to our residents. The problem is when you have one executive director in an agency, they are responsible for doing everything. So when an agency like Marshfield, just to put this in perspective, we manage 3,800 units. There's only 100 in Marshfield. So having one person hired that's going to do annual inspections, they're going to do lease enforcement, they're going to collect rents, they're going to manage the waiting list, which that in itself has changed. Back a few years ago, the statewide waiting list called CHAMP is now managed by the state, but we have to run a process to fill every vacancy that comes in. So every vacancy that comes in sometimes requires us sending out as many as 200 packages to find a prospective tenant for the Marshfield Housing Authority. Because when those folks come up on waiting lists, they come up on waiting lists throughout the entire state. So all the housing authorities are sending out notices to these people that come up on the list, and they have all different kinds of options of where they can go to. So it becomes very difficult for us to find tenants off of this new waiting list. It's a challenge. The state knows it's a challenge. Every executive director out there knows it's a challenge, and the state is working to correct that program. That person also, can you back up? Oh, I can back up. That person also has to comply with all the state regulations, and they have to do all of the capital planning. They have to run capital projects. They have to oversee the maintenance department. Finding one person that has that skill set is very, very difficult, and oftentimes it fails, which we had in Marshfield. So in Marshfield, you had a failure to lease vacant units. You had a failure to maintain the common areas, the community room, the balconies, the laundry room, the grounds. There was a failure to manage day-to-day operations. There was mishandling of financial responsibilities. And there was a failure to implement an effective management plan. There was poor use of space, and there was failure to enforce lease requirements. That's all the conditions that we came into. I've put together some pictures. This is when we entered the Marshfield Housing Authority. What you see here is the office, the administrative office. That's what it looked like. Those are what the storage areas look like. This is what the storage areas of the files look like in the basement and the executive director's office. This is what the outside of the property looked like when we got there. We took, in the first month we were here, we took 30 tons of trash out of the Marshfield Housing Authority.
Can I interrupt you for a second?
Yes,
What year was that? Was that 2000?
2020.
Okay.
So Marshfield was identified from back then, it was Massachusetts Department of Housing and Community Development. They were identified as a troubled agency back then. From the photos, you can tell why. The community room was dirty. It was filthy. It was grotesque. I mean, it was loaded with old furniture. It had old broken down equipment in the bathrooms. They were storing old broken TVs in the community room. I mean, it was just an absolute mess. And the common areas, the hallways, the units, they were no different. The repairs that were made in poor workmanship. I mean, we found water lines repaired with radiator hoses and clamps. We found broken drains just duct taped. We spent the last 5 years or 4 years just going through units and making all of the necessary repairs that needed to be made. Community rooms, this was the back of the building. It was just one big giant junk storage area that was the back of the community room. You can see here, this is what the back of the property looked like when we got there. There was old unusable antennas. There was trash. There were tree limbs broken. There were trees crushing fences. This is what the common hallways look like. They were littered with people's belongings. There was mold. You had 2 family units that were covered in mold from top to bottom, and DHCD actually had the tenants living in hotels when we first got here. The units were so deplorable that the state came in and moved the people out of the units. Over at Grace Ryder, the floors had failed in the laundry room. At both Grace Ryder and T-Rock Gardens, the laundry rooms were deplorable. The floor was so bad at Grace Ryder, they had rocks underneath the washers and dryers trying to level the washer and drying machines. This is what the floors look like in the Housing Authority. The picture on the right is one of the vacated units. The picture on the left is one of the utility rooms. The doors were falling apart. They were all rotted, all the exterior doors. There was mice running in and out of the building. The doors were all rotted. The trim was all rotted. There were walls that were ripped out, that were just left ripped out. The back door to Grace Ryder, you couldn't even open the back door all the way to get in and out. The floor had buckled where you enter and exit Grace Ryder. So what has happened since then? We have hired new staff. We terminated the ineffective staff. We adopted 16 new resident policies. We enforced all the terms of the lease and rent collection. We developed and implemented an effective inspection program. We actually assisted the tenants to form a tenants association so that they could have a voice and have a say in the authority and the way that the authority was being run. We moved all of the financial oversight over to Quincy, where we have a whole financial department instead of just one person. We developed and implemented preventative maintenance. We implemented a proactive pest control program. We encourage the Tenants Association to participate in the monthly meetings and in the operation of the authority. We created transparency with the Board of Commissioners. We retained a lawyer to come in and train the commissioners on what their roles and their responsibilities are of a housing authority. We have hired a resident service coordinator to work with the tenants that we received a 5-year grant from Massachusetts Department of Housing and Community Development for. And then we secured our energy contracts by bidding those out and making sure that we were paying the lowest price that we possibly could for both gas and electricity. So under the management agreement, what physical improvements have been made? We've replaced all of the shutters. We've installed all new benches. We installed a gazebo for the tenants to use outside. We've repaved all of the walkways, which were trip hazards when we first arrived. We've repainted all of the common areas. This is a story that I tell to folks at DHCD. When I first got here, I walked in and I said, "What is that god-awful color on the walls?" And the maintenance guys looked at me and they said, "That's nicotine yellow." I said, "What is nicotine yellow?" I said, "Who came up with this color?" And they said, "Well, the walls were so covered with nicotine everywhere, we figured that we would have the Sherwin-Williams match it and make a nicotine yellow color so that all the hallways and all the common areas and all of the units were painted with this yellow color." So we have since gone through and repainted all the common hallways, all of Grace Ryder, and we're now starting to paint all of the units to get rid of this color. This is a true story. We've repaired all of the chimneys. We installed all new flooring at Grace Ryder. We installed all new flooring at T-Rock Gardens in the community room, and we're starting to do all of the units. We're in the process of soliciting for 2 generators, to put a generator at T-Rock Gardens and to put a generator at Grace Ryder. We've replaced all of the exterior doors. We've replaced all of the waste piping from all of the buildings at T-Rock Gardens. We received a grant to connect Grace Ryder to town sewer, which we're in the process of designing and going out to bid on. We've put new roofs in all of the family units. We completed a building envelope project at 30 Old Colony. We've paved the driveways of the family units at Caswell Street and Webster Street. We replaced the rotted, falling down flagpole. We've started to install some new sump pumps in all of the buildings in case we have a flooding event. And we've done extensive landscaping and tree removal through all of the properties. So since we've been there, we have applied for every grant and every opportunity to receive funds from the state that we possibly could. As a housing authority, we receive 2 pots of money every year. We receive operating money and we receive capital money. The money that you see up here on the screen is neither. All of these are grants that we solicited from DHCD, and all of these are programs that are in addition to the money that you would get every year in your operating budget and your capital budget. All of this money is outside of that. None of this is in our capital budget. None of this is given to the Housing Authority. We went out and we solicited these grants. So you have replacement of all of the heating systems and hot water systems at T-Rock Gardens, all of the hot water system and heating systems at Grace Ryder, air sealing at Grace Ryder, water saving programs at Grace Ryder and T-Rock, exterior door replacement at Grace Ryder, energy resource for a septic design, sustainability, grants from the town of Marshfield for generators, $200,000, opera awards for all new electrical transfer switches for $803,000, a 5-year resident grant program for the resident grant coordinator for $250,000, and an insulation upgrade recently approved by the board for $144,000. In 4 years, we have brought in $1,812,000 in excess funds of the money that would have been given to the Marshfield Housing Authority under your operating and capital budget. What else have we done? We do on-site flu clinics routinely. We're setting one up now for the residents for October. During the pandemic, we actually brought vaccines on site and went around and vaccinated all of our tenants right at the developments. We did a mass distribution, not only to the Housing Authority, to the police department and the fire department. Through a federal program, we were able to secure hundreds of thousands of masks. And as Mike knows, we made a delivery of a large box truck to both the Marshfield Fire Department and the Marshfield Police Department during the pandemic. We've also engaged the fire and police departments for resident safety, and we did daily sanitizing and brought in extra staff to sanitize all the common areas every day during the pandemic. What our accomplishments as far as resident services go, we now have a resident service coordinator, Ellie. She's here tonight. She works with all of the residents on many programs. We've collaborated with the Marshfield veterans. We do coffee hours now with the Marshfield veterans. We work with Father Bills. We also manage the vouchers, which are over in your veterans house, the new veterans house. Those vouchers are managed by the Quincy Housing Authority for all the vouchers that are in the new veterans home. We've done fruit extravaganzas where tenants can come get fresh bags of fruits for $2 a bag. We've brought in farmers markets. We just recently did a grant that we received from Mass Housing, which allowed for free taxi rides for 3 months for any resident of the Marshfield Housing Authority. Anywhere they want to go up to 30 miles, they were able to go to and from for the last 3 months for free. Mass Housing gave us a grant to get them out of their units and to get them out of isolation, given the fact that we went through that pandemic. We also work with South Shore Elder Services to provide homemaking services to our residents. We've engaged with the Marshfield Fire Department. We have them coming over there doing blood pressure screenings for our tenants. We've engaged with the Marshfield Police Department. We have them coming over there doing fraud awareness. We've partnered up with the Affordable Housing Trust Fund. We've had several meetings with them about engaging in creating new affordable housing. We gave free backpacks to all the kids that live in the family units prior to the start of school. So in closing, we've created transparency for the management team and for the residents. We are creating a safe living environment for the residents that are elderly and disabled. We do require our tenants to follow the lease. Smoking on site was a big issue when we got there. We've now got that down to pretty much nobody smoking in the units, which doesn't affect any of the other residents that live there. And what we're trying to do is preserve this asset for years to come so that the elderly can age in place in Marshfield. They can have a place to call home. This is some of the pictures of kind of what we are all about. The fire department's there doing blood pressure screens. We have cookouts frequently for our residents. We created a community room that's vibrant where they can go and they can meet, and they can a safe place that they can call home. So that's kind of in summary. A quick, I know the last meeting we had went till 1:30 in the morning, and I got some extra sleep last night in case you want me to go till 1:30. So I'm ready for it if you do want that to happen. But short of that, I welcome any questions that you may have.
If I could start out, I thank you for coming in. I thank you
Sure.
for providing a really comprehensive update. It helped, I think, for the public clarify some things that they didn't know about the Housing Authority, the conditions that were there before, the conditions that are there now, and under your supervision on what has happened. And it's only really been since 2020, so it's a relatively
Correct.
short period of time to achieve this amount of work. I did want to ask, because I understood there were some problems with the vacancy list, but you kind of explained that for me too, that they're making efforts to address that.
Yeah, so a lot of the administrative tasks have been taken out of here and are done through
State.
folks that do that work. So I have 4 tenant selectors who manage all 5 housing authorities. So their job all day long is just to pull lists and just to find tenants. So like now, we don't have any vacancies, we're full.
Good.
But you now have 4 people that are specialized, that's all they do all day. So the inspector, that's all he does all day. Those people that pull lists, that's all they do. The finance team, that's what they do all day. Each person has specialized tasks, and those tasks that they perform on a regular basis for all 5 agencies. So they're specialized in what they do. So that gives us the ability really to deliver a better product than trying to have one person juggle all these things in the air at one time.
I have some other comments, but I'm going to turn it over to my
No,
colleagues here.
thank you for being here, and I see you've got a lot of your group from, I'm guessing, from T Rock Gardens.
So my Board of Commissioners are here
Yes,
tonight,
yes.
as well as my Assistant Executive Director of Managed Agencies, Colleen,
Yes.
my Assistant Executive Director of Quincy, Andrew, and Ellie, the Service Coordinator, is here as well.
Yes, thank you. So I know it takes a team approach to do anything and do it well. One person, as you said, can do everything.
Right.
So I am grateful for the hard work and being able to turn this place into a home for so many. I do have this feeling of hope that as you move forward into the future, that we'll be able to see the growth and see the changes as they come. And I know that you're working hard with your board to do all of that as well. So we are just the select board when it comes to the Housing Authority, but we are very interested in
Sure.
how it works and how you progress. And I know I know a little bit about so many
It's horrible.
things. I do know that there is a lot of work, and it comes from other places beyond the scope. So
Yes.
thank you, Chair, for allowing me to speak, and I am hopeful that
Sure.
we'll be able to work to make this a better Marshfield.
We certainly will.
James, could you give us a timeline walkthrough of the morale among tenants when you first took over management versus where they are now, and anything you feel is important along the way?
When I first got there, there was a lot of drug activity in the Housing Authority. We've evicted numerous people for drug activity. There was a lot of angry tenants. They felt that their maintenance needs weren't being met. They were told to fix things themselves. There was a really bad morale, and there was no tenants association, and the tenants were not active, and they were not engaged. And I think now it's completely different. It's an enjoyable place to live. We want to keep it that way. It's a safe place to live. We want to keep it that way. One of the big confusing things that people in the town don't understand, and I want to just get this out there, the Marshfield Housing Authority is a state quasi-agency. So they're not town employees. They don't work for the town. We receive funding from the town only from your community preservation, which is to preserve affordable and disabled housing in Marshfield. All of our budget comes from the state. We have a state budget. We have state auditors. We have we report to the state for all of our spending and all of our expenditures, and we're audited, and we are the oversight comes from DHCD for the agency. So I know people hear the word Marshfield Housing Authority, and they do it in every town. They right away think, that's tied to the town. That's a town, that's a branch of the town. I'm going to call Mike Maresco and complain. And it's not that case. So I just want to get that out there so that I can help some people understand the way that the Marshfield Housing Authority is formed, and the Board of Commissioners manage the oversight and set policy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
And do you think that all of this physical improvements, would you say that the tenants feel safe right now where they live, or overall, how would you rate it?
I would think that they feel very safe. I have not heard anything to the contrary. Nobody has told me that they do not feel safe there. Certainly, they all have my phone number. They all know where to find me, and I've never received any complaint of anybody not feeling safe there.
Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll just close with fantastic grant mining, $1.8 million. And really the biggest thing in my mind regarding all the changes that have happened is the significant support that you have from your residents. You don't typically see that. To have people come out, we have a lot of meetings here all the time that you'd think that a lot of people come, and I've had 2 in a row now, and you've filled up half the room both times. So you obviously have the support of your residents, and there's a reason for that. And so I'd like to thank you for coming in.
I appreciate that. I have a meeting with my staff. I have a staff of about 80 people, and we have a meeting every week with every single person that works at the Housing Authority. And I don't think there's a week that goes by that I don't tell my staff, this is somebody's mother, this is someone's father, this is someone's brother, sister, family member. The residents get treated with respect, or you don't work here. I mean, our goal is to make sure that we take care of the people that we are charged with taking care of and providing them with a safe place to live. So to be honest with you, I am extremely proud of the staff that works for me, because I have an incredible staff that truly care about the mission that they do every day. And I'm very, very fortunate for all of those folks that work for me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And for everyone here, we do have 20 more items on our agenda this evening. So it can be riveting, and so you're more than welcome to stay. I know Ned's going to stay right till item number 19. With that, we're past 7 o'clock, right?
Well past.
Yeah, so we can have an update, if we could, from Health Circle. Thanks, everyone, for coming in.
Thank you.
Good to see you again.
Nice to be here.
I just get to it?
Yeah, let's do it.
So,
You have the floor.
Mike Westort from Health Circle.
And Paul
Paul
Jacobson.
Jacobson. So the last time we met, we came in, gave you an update on the construction. Since then, the zoning board came in. Mike was there. They did a walkthrough, checked everything out, went over the conditions that they had the last time relative to what they really want to change for the new one. Since then, we met. We gave the package to the zoning board. We met with zoning board, had the meeting. Everything went fine. Went through, was approved. We're all set. Talked to Nancy today. Clock starting. For the 20 days, assuming 20 days goes by, we're golden.
In the meantime, we're still doing construction. All our ductwork has been measured and is in fabrication. The longest lead items have been ordered, which have been the cameras and the door locks, believe it or not. There is a couple of units on the roof that have been ordered also. So from our side, we're still pushing forward from construction. But like you said, the 20-day clock started today, I guess, is when it was for the appeal period.
Questions? comments?
Anything with the state? Any updates?
I
from
can
the state?
give you the update because we just applied for Rockland. So for Rockland, we have the GROW. It's same thing. It's all the state. But so the GROW, we applied for our first inspection or whatever else. It's been 3 weeks. They haven't even acknowledged that they received our requests to get the inspection. From my gathering, I'm sure you guys have read the paper. It's a little hectic there. So we're pushing along. I hope to have at least the initial phone call within a week or two, and then an inspection within a month. I can't imagine they're going to go that much further. But again, as I get more information from that side, I can tell you for here.
So can you forward, when you do have that information, can you forward that information
To Mike?
the town administrator? And
Yeah.
share where you stand, if that's okay?
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, no, that's no problem. Yeah, because we're 3 weeks in from the request. I thought in 2 weeks, they would usually say, hey, we got it, and then give us a call in like 4 weeks to 6 weeks, but it's not looking like that.
Concur with that, Steve? That's sound okay to you? Keep Mike updated.
Oh, totally, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 20 days, the big clock.
Yeah.
So as you know, there is the appeal period with the ZBA on the decision, so, and then you'll record the decision. Were there anything crazy in the conditions that we?
No, it's basically the same. The only thing was we moved the door back to where they wanted it. Well,
the
like in
side?
front- no, we didn't move it, put it that way. We kept it. We're in the front.
So the door remains in the front?
Yeah, so we're not doing any exterior work at all.
Okay,
Yeah, so that was, I think, originally one of the requests, if we could, to keep it there. And then the dumpster, he did want outside, so I'm fine with
but other than
both of
that,
those.
pretty similar.
Yeah, it is exact. Actually, I haven't seen it,
traffic
but
flow?
from what I gather, it is exactly the same.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you. That's it.
Sure. In terms of sticking to your timetable, is your biggest concern supply chain issues, or would it be something else?
Well, so the locks we knew because we ran into it, and we still don't have some cameras for the grow we have going on inspecting now. So we kind of, we've learned from our mistakes, put it that way, is what what it is. So the cameras we knew were gonna be long, so we did that, and then the rooftop units. So we're trying to get ahead of it, so by the time we're ready for the cameras, they might actually be here.
Yeah.
Because that's the problem. And I think it's not just me, like one of our cameras took 13 months.
Yeah, that's crazy.
One of the other things I learned too is if I can notify the state before technically I'm done to get our clock started.
Yeah.
Before we thought we'd have to wait to the end when occupancy was issued and everything else, and that's really not the case. So we should start a
get
couple
in the
months
queue.
before and get in the queue. But we just didn't know that at the beginning, but we know that now.
Yeah, we were nervous in Rockland, because if they did say, okay, yeah, we're coming out there next week, and it's not fully, then
Yeah, okay.
we get kicked to the end of the queue.
Because it seems like there's a lot of upheaval on people staying with the state.
Yes.
You never know who you're going to get. So at least if we can notify them ahead of time and kind of get in the queue, I think that speeds up a little bit. So when we're actually ready, they're ready too, so.
The second floor of the building, if you don't mind, the
No,
second
please do.
floor of the building, and does that remain office area?
Yeah, that's just going to be our corporate offices for what we use, so there isn't anything that's
So
being
There were
done.
no changes or additions
No.
to that area?
My office is probably half the size of this room. I don't know, my other one's about as big as that corner, so I don't even know what to do with it.
Yeah, so the only changes were the front door was going to stay as is versus being relocated. The dumpster, if you remember, or those who didn't, was asked to be put on the inside of the building, which we requested it to be on the outside, just from a rodent standpoint, because the only thing in the dumpster would be our trash. We can't dispose of product or anything like that, so it would be, our everyday waste that is being used. So that is going to be put on the outside of the building. And then the final item was the hours.
Yeah, that was about to
The
say.
hours were going to coincide with the other business that was here. And that was a little different than when we originally applied for a couple of years ago.
And was there a buffer between Stillwagon?
Yeah, there is still,
There still remains a buffer?
yeah, so there's still going to be the, I guess you'd call it a wooden guardrail. There was a couple items that we were asked for. First was going to be a fence and things of that nature, but right now it is a wooden guardrail to match what's currently on the front of the building. And there is some boulders that they want to use to try to deter, cars from driving over that little median that's there. And there is a little landscaping that's being done to try to, pretty up that area a little bit. But, between the two properties.
Thank you, Paul.
Yes.
Good, thank you.
Well, I thank you for your update. I appreciate your response to our requests. And we look forward to further communication with the town administrator.
I'm putting my counter,
Any
Right now.
snags or anything that's going to delay where we anticipate your
Right.
open will be, and we understand the state is the state.
Right.
We do understand that. So thank you very much for coming in. I do appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, I have you down for 19,
I can hardly wait.
but I'm going to move you to 1. Okay?
Nice.
I assume you're here for the Recreational Trails Committee?
You feel good?
I'm used to being by myself.
Do it.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Mike, you know what we didn't do?
Town administrator report.
Yeah, how do we let that happen?
I didn't want to interrupt. You were on a roll, sir.
I was not really on a roll. I messed up. Please always do and help me out. So let's do the recreational trails, and because I know that there's, you did a lot in the last few weeks.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's my error. I do apologize.
No problem, sir.
So what we have here, I do believe, is a discussion vote for appointment for the Recreational Trails Committee. Ned,
Yes.
would you want to give us a name?
Yes. So, Mike,
Quick briefing?
so thank you for having me on tonight. Ned Banks, Woodland Circle, the current chairperson of the Trails Committee. So we have space for 2 alternates for the committee. Michael Arsenal is a candidate for one of the positions, and Mike is a guy that for 3 years now, he comes to all of our monthly meetings. He comes to support us at town meeting. He is weekly on the trails with us. He helps out with whatever we have to do. He's our connection to Wildlands Trust as well as St. Christine's Parish. And he's this summer he brought his granddaughter to our weekly walks. So it was fun to have her along. As you know, she's 9 years old. She's the next generation of trail ambassadors. And when they were camping up in New Hampshire on their annual trip, she mentioned to her grandfather, to Mike, that shouldn't we be out cleaning up some of these trails? So it's developing there. Mike also helps us on the walks with the Pilgrim Trail and Hoyt Hall. So he's our conduit to those, and he's just a good guy. He has a positive attitude and willing to help out. And finally convinced him that let's be there so we can have our meetings in case we're a person short. So we're happy to have him apply. And we had another resident, Alyssa Carroll, did apply, but she has some work commitments that are taking precedence right now, so maybe after the first of the year,
Okay.
we'll hear from her.
Well,
So,
your team does a great job, so.
yeah, we're very fortunate. We have a nice group of folks and working hard and trying to make a difference.
Any comments from my colleagues?
No, I
Chair?
just commend the whole group. You got your work cut out.
Yeah, we had to sell through.
Spray in hand and ready to do your thing. So.
We'll be working with, we have Webster's Wilderness tomorrow. And then Sunday, Troop 424, the all-female scout troop, is going to be at Webster's Wilderness on the Yellow Trail extension, working on that to clean it up. So it's been good.
Clerk Darcy?
Yeah, anyone you recommend, happy to vote for. You're batting 1,000, so.
Thank you.
So then, hearing no other comments, I would like to make a motion to the board to appoint Michael Arsenal to the Recreational Trails Committee, and I'd like to look for a second.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne.
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler.
Aye.
Mr. Darcy.
Aye.
Unanimous vote to appoint Michael Arsenal to the Recreational Trails Committee.
Thanks once again for your team, Ned.
All right, thank you very much. You'll be a good alternate member.
So I would like to make an apology again to the town administrator for taking him out of order. I do apologize, sir.
No problem,
And let's make sure we get this read into the record, the town administrator report.
Okay. It's been 2 weeks since we got together, so we had the hurricane back then, so participated in storm prep meeting for the potential hurricane at the EOC with the DPW, Fire, Police, and the Select Board. At that time, I also put together a hurricane survival kit information for our website, so our residents can go there and be better prepared when any storm comes. And actually, the hurricane kit information can also be used for winter storms. It's interchangeable. Had a conference call with our new treasurer-collector, Sean Strobel, with Danielle Kerrigan, to discuss contract issues and starting dates, and pending the outcome of the background and credit check, he'll be ready to go. Participated in the Chamber of Commerce meeting with Carol Hamilton, the director of the COA, to talk about age-friendly communities and then the necessary funding for the consultant. Participated and attended the biweekly DPW contractor meeting with PMA and staff to review how the project's finishing out. Participated in the Marshfield Bike Path meeting with Ned Banks, Recreational Trails Committee, Greg Geeman, our town planner, and Ron Laguerre from the Eversource regarding Eversource right-of-way for access on Webster Street to the Red Gold Farm walking trails. Participated in a meeting with Eric Kinshaw, he's our CPA, that's helping to close out the FY23 books and certification of free cash for our special town meeting. Hosted and participated in Mill Creek Development pre-construction meeting with Brian Murphy from the ZBA, Ed Pesci, the consulting engineer from ZBA, Andrew Stewart, Building Commissioner, Gary Russell, Board of Health, Mike Seal, Conservation Commission, and Mill Creek staff, Inad Basha, Kesho Gandhi, and Bob Raymond, and construction will begin in October. Meeting with Harbor Master Mike DeMayo regarding new docks in FY25 for Damon's Point. Also, ongoing discussion on dredging of the South River again with the town of Situate, and they're gonna begin the permitting process. Weekly meeting with Fred Russell, a facility director, regarding updates on a number of town projects. 255 Furnace to pre-K, having the parking lot sprayed and lined. Town Hall first floor bathrooms and steel installation under the Select Board chamber. Police project, a roof issue. DPW facility, photovoltaics and parking lot pavement. School playground, wood chips, dog park, cameras. Recreation Department needs a fence, and GAR Hall's CPC application. Participated in the Holtec case mediation with our chair, Town Council Bob Galvin, Chief Tavares, former Chief Bill Sullivan, and we'll wait to see how that turns out. We're gonna have to wait for the courts to sort that out. Attended the Marshfield Historic Commission HQ opening and dedication to Otis Carney, longtime chair of the Historic Commission, the unveiling of the plaque in his honor. I offered a historical perspective of the Old South Grammar School from 1857 to present day and the occupancy, and a select board member originally the building was purchased to house the Historic Commission, and when I was a selectman, we bought the building to do just that and maybe have an information center there. Years went on, it was used to house the school committee when we redid the old town hall, et cetera. And Mike Bradley, former colleague and select board chairman, come up with the idea of having a veterans house, and thanks to the support of town and town meeting, we today have a beautiful veterans house there, and we have space for the Historic Commission. They have a beautiful meeting room, and they're able to store a lot of their collection there. So that was a nice event. Participated in a conference call with outside counsel regarding a dog bite case, Gavani versus Marshfield. Meeting with Andrew Stewart and Danielle Kerrigan to review a personnel issue and a PIP report. Meeting with Cindy Marcoux regarding a patron who was constantly causing issues at the library. Some point this week, we're going to issue a no trespass order to that person. Chaired my monthly department head meeting at the library program room, where we talked about webpage updates, board and commission training for chairs, Maya safety meeting, update on capital projects, holiday schedule, capital budget requests due by the 1st of November, special town meeting, and search committee updates. Participated in a meeting with town council and building commissioner regarding an issue on Bay Ave with a homeowner. Participated in a number of meetings with Harbor Master Mike DeMayo regarding Green Harbor dredge that will begin on October 1st, next week. It must be completed no later than December 31st of this year. Mooring contract issued, and moorings that are not occupied right now will be removed. And next week, some of the recreational floats will also be removed as we ramp up to get ready for the dredge. Participated in a meeting with the Harbor Master Mike DeMayo regarding the Ridge Road boat ramp. A new Chapter 91 license will be needed for that project. A new dock will be added on the Ridge Road at the south side of the ramp to allow offloading on both sides. Ridge Road project to take 18 to 24 months to complete. Had a meeting with the chair of the Airport Commission, Paul Van Karenberg, and Fred Russell on improvements to the main terminal building, which is owned by the town. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and that's my report.
Thank you, Mr. Administrator. Sorry for taking you out of order. There were some interesting items in there, especially regarding the Ridge Street ramp. So, I'd like to move to action item number 2, is discussion and vote on the nomination of inspectors of animals, Lieutenant William Sullivan. I don't see anyone on.
Nope.
Nope. So any discussion, my colleagues, Vice Chair?
No, I'd like to support this appointment.
No questions.
No questions. Hearing no questions, then I would like to nominate for Inspector of Animals, Lieutenant William Sullivan, and look for a second.
Second?
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to appoint Lieutenant William Sullivan, Inspector of Animals.
Okay, item number 3, discussion and vote on the nomination of an Inspectors of Animal, which is Courtney Ellis. Thoughts?
She's doing a great job. I support Courtney.
You're good?
Good.
Okay, without further comment, then I would like to make a motion that, that we nominate for the Inspector of Animals, Courtney Ellis, and look for a second.
Second?
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to appoint Courtney Ellis, Inspector of Animals. Mr. Chair, if I may,
You may, sir.
just in case people are wondering, what does an Inspector of Animals do?
Yes.
And why do we need 2 of them? I just thought I would offer this, so the Inspector of Animals, one of the biggest things they do is that they have to annually visit every single barn
animal.
in the town of
Chickens,
Marshfield.
goats,
Right, and do a
yes.
count, yes.
Yes, they do.
So that's what they, it's an important that
It's
they
bigger
do
than you
that.
think. We have more of them than you think.
The amount of animals, it's unbelievable.
It's very surprising.
From llamas to cattle, to horses, to rabbits.
Yeah. I remember when you were chair, I was like, what the heck is that? And we went over this. Oh, my goodness. There's so many of them. In all fairness, too, to Lieutenant Sullivan, he is a full-time police officer.
Yes, he is.
Yes.
And
So,
Courtney's full-time animal.
animal control, correct. Next, we'd like to move to item 4. I have some pictures here and some verbiage here on, which is basically a discussion vote for request of permission to declare some of the furniture at the library department surplus. Any discussions from either of my board members?
Nope, let it go.
I hope that you enjoy this edition because I know it's your favorite.
It is. I always love getting rid of it. So without any further discussion, I would like to move to declare the library furniture and materials on the surplus list. Looking for a second.
Second?
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to declare library furniture and materials as surplus.
Okay. Number 5 is an application for site plan approval for Plymouth Ave Pump, and its request to waive the filing fees for the site plan approval and advertising fees. Notice relative to the DPW upgrades of the Plymouth Avenue Pump Station. It's from the Appeals Department. Looking, any discussion from either of my
No,
colleagues?
this is- yeah, this is
Pretty straightforward?
Yep.
Good. Thank you.
All right, without further discussion, then I would like to make a motion that we waive the filing fees for the site plan approval and advertising fees for the DPW upgrades at Plymouth Avenue Pump Station as per the Appeals Department. Look for a second.
Second?
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to waive the ZBA fees for the DPW Plymouth Ave Pump Station.
You caught it from me, Mike. All right, the next on item 6 is a discussion vote for request for permission to waive assigned permit fees for the Early Education Center, 255 Furnace Street, from the Building Department. Any discussion?
No.
Hearing none, then I'd like to make a motion to waive the fees, permit fees for the Early Education Center at 255 Furnace Street. Look for a second.
Second?
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to waive the signed permit fee for the town's Early Education Center.
The next is a discussion, and then we will take a vote to request permission to waive electrical fee permits for the wiring of air conditioning units at Daniel Webster School, 1456 Ocean Street, from the Building Department. Any comments? Not hearing any, then I would like to make a motion that we do the same and waive the electrical permits for the wiring of the air conditioning units at Daniel Webster School, 1456 Ocean Street, Building Department. Look for a second.
Second?
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to waive the electrical permit fee for the Daniel Webster School.
Next is, I think, our last fee waiving, and this is a vote in discussion. Permission to waive the fees for welding on behalf of the harbor dredging project from the fire department. Any discussion? Hearing none, then I would like to make a motion that we waive the permit fees for welding on behalf of the harbor dredging project from the fire department. Look for a second.
Second?
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne.
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler.
Aye.
Mr. Darcy.
Aye.
Unanimous vote to waive the fire department fee for Ken Fab for the harbor dredge.
Okay, so the next is going to be a discussion vote on application for a temporary malt and wine license. This is for the North River Arts Society. I've gone through it. I don't see any issues from my side, either of my colleagues.
No, sir.
No.
Hearing none, then I would like to make a motion that we give a temporary malt and wine liquor license for the North River Arts Society. Let me find this. For Maureen Smith of the North River Arts Society on Saturday, September 30th, 2023, from 6 to 9 p.m. at the GAR Hall located at 157 Main Street for the members' show opening, pending sign-off from the Marshfield Police Department and the Marshfield Fire Department. Look for a second.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne.
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler.
Aye.
Mr. Darcy.
Aye.
Unanimous vote to approve an indoor temporary one-day wine and malt license for the North River Arts Society for Saturday the 30th, 2023, from 6 to 9 p.m.
All right, the next is a discussion and vote for an application for a temporary malt and wine license for the Winslow, the historic Winslow House. Any discussion from my colleagues?
Nope.
No.
Hearing none, then I'd like to make a motion that we provide an indoor temporary one-day wine and malt liquor license for Shannon Thomas, historic Winslow House, 634 Caswell Street, on October 13th, 2023, from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m., and that's pending sign-off of the Marshfield Fire Department and the Marshfield Police Department. Look for a second.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne.
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler.
Aye.
Mr. Darcy.
Aye.
Unanimous vote to approve an indoor temporary one-day wine and malt liquor license for the historic Winslow House.
All right, we're on to number 11. Number 11 is discussion and vote for application for temporary all-alcohol license for the Marshfield Agricultural and Horticultural Society. Any questions, concerns, or thoughts from my colleagues?
No.
No.
No, me either. I don't have any either. So I'd like to make a motion that we issue a temporary all-alcohol license for the Marshfield, all-alcohol license for Charlton Chandler, for the Marshfield Agriculture and Horticultural Society for Sunday, October 8th, 2023, from 12 noon to 10 p.m. at the Marshfield Fairgrounds located at 140 Main Street for the Flannel Jam Music Festival, pending sign-off from the Marshfield Police Department and Marshfield Fire Department.
I'll
Look for a
second.
Motion been made and duly seconded with one correction.
Yes, sir.
One day.
Did I
Just
say
a
more than one day?
Yes,
All
just
right.
a one day, that's all.
October the 8th, 2023, correct?
Yes.
All right, thank you for
Motion been made
clarifying
and duly
that.
second. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne.
All right,
Ms. Fiddler.
Aye.
Mr. Darcy.
Aye.
Unanimous approval for an outdoor temporary one-day all-alcohol license for Flannel Jam that will take place on October 8th from 12 noon to 10 p.m. Marshfield Fairgrounds.
now we're going on to number 12. So there's multiple ones on the same one, just so everyone understands. It's discussion vote for temporary common victual licenses for Levitate Flannel Jam. Any discussions from my colleagues?
No, sir.
Hearing none, then I'd like to make a motion to approve the temporary common vic license for the following business for the Flannel Jam Country Event for Sunday, October 8th, 2023, from 12 noon to 8 p.m. at the Marshfield Fairgrounds located at 140 Main Street, pending sign-off from the Marshfield Police Department, Marshfield Fire Department, Board of Health, Building Department, and taxes being paid if a Marshfield business. And should I read off A through K on this?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
As everyone knows, one of my hallmarks is last names. So Bryce Harrison for Cheese Louise, Portsmouth, Mass. Colin Dillon for Dillon's Local, Plymouth, Mass. Wanderson Gonzalez Food Truck, Bridgewater, Mass. Vanessa White, Jeju Pierogi, Marshfield, Mass.
Yes.
Eric Rote Marine Food Truck, Marshfield, Mass. Fletcher Suba, Slacktide Coffee, Marshfield, Mass. Jennifer Rampsey, Sweet Sugar Swirl, Bridgewater, Mass. Andrew Swain, The Filling Station from East Falmouth, Mass. Beth Dollinger, The Potato Caboose, Bernardston, Mass. And David Littlefield, The Sausage Guy from Hingham, Massachusetts. And that is my motion.
Just one more, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Number E.
Did I miss E?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Kelsey. Kelsey Moss from Levitate Backyard, Marshfield, Mass. Thank you for keeping an eye on me on that. And so I'd like to make that motion. Look for a second.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne.
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler.
Aye.
Mr. Darcy.
Aye.
Unanimous vote to approve temporary common victuals licenses for the aforementioned businesses.
Yes, thank you. Now we're on to 13, which is discussion and vote for the request for permission to accept a donation of $5,000 for the police department. This is item 13, as I stated. I mean, this is a significant donation from the Copeland Family Foundation, specifically used for the DARE educational program. And would you like to have any comments on this as well?
This is an example of a family that's willing to give back, and DARE is a really important part of giving back and supports our students and keeping them safe. So I applaud this.
Clerk Darcy?
I appreciate the donation to a good cause.
Yeah, it's phenomenal, isn't it? So I would like to make a motion that the board move to approve the $5,000 donation to the Marshfield Police Department from the Copeland Family Foundation, Inc., to be specifically for the DARE educational program. Look for a second.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne.
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler.
Aye.
Mr. Darcy.
Aye.
Unanimous vote to approve a $5,000 donation to the Marshfield Police Department DARE education from the Copeland family.
Yeah, number 14 is discussion and vote again for permission to accept monthly donations of $100 from Mr. and Mrs. Hanlon for the Veteran Services Department. Once again, these are monthly donations that they're going to make to the Veterans Service Department, so that's an extremely nice thing to do. Any other thoughts, comments from the board?
No, sir.
No.
Then we are going to, I would like to make a motion that the board moves to approve a monthly donation for the Veterans Office from Mr. and Mrs. Joseph Hanlon. The donation will be used to provide assistance to health, welfare, morale, and/or financial needs of our veterans and their dependents. Look for a second.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne.
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler.
Aye.
Mr. Darcy.
Aye.
Unanimous vote to accept the $100 donation for the Veterans Office from Mr. and Mrs. Joseph Handel.
Another is a discussion and vote for request for permission to accept another donation of $100 to the Veteran Services Department. Any thoughts, comments? Hearing none, then I'd like to make a motion that the board approves the $100 donation to the Veterans Office from Mr. and Mrs. John Holland. The donation will be used to provide for health, welfare, morale, and/or financial need of our veterans and their dependents. Look for a second.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne.
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler.
Aye.
Mr. Darcy.
Aye.
Unanimous approval for a $100 donation for the Veterans Office from Mr. and Mrs. John Holland.
The next is the fun discussion and vote for request to hold the 8K annual Marsh Vegas Turkey Trot on November 24th, 2023. I believe the location is going to be at the South River School, and it's a 4-mile walk. Begins like at 7:30, I believe. Any comments, thoughts?
Mr. Chairman, if I
Yes, you
may,
may.
I just want to disclose for the record that I am a Board of Directors member.
Okay.
And I serve on the Executive Governance Committee for the Boys and Girls Club.
Okay, thank you, sir. Hearing none, then I would like to make a motion that the board moves to approve the Boys and Girls Club 8th Annual Marsh Vegas Thanksgiving Turkey Trot for November 24th for a 4-mile run walk from the South River School, beginning with registration at 6:30 a.m. to 7:30 a.m., with a run walk kicking off at 7:30 a.m., pending sign-off from the Marshfield Police Department, the Marshfield Fire Department. Looking for a second.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne.
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler.
Aye.
Mr. Darcy.
Aye.
Unanimous approval for the Boys and Girls Club 8th Annual Marsh Vegas Turkey Trot for November 24th.
Number 17, discussion vote on an application for one-day entertainment license for Goodwill Hunters. Any comments from the board?
No, sir.
Hearing none, I would like to make a motion that the board moves to approve the outdoor temporary one-day entertainment license for Kamakura on behalf of Goodwill Hunters for the Duck Derby that will take place on October 1st, 2023, from the Rexham Beach parking lot with recorded music pending sign-off from the Marshfield Police Department, Marshfield Fire Department, Board of Health, and the Building Department. Looking for a second.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne.
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler.
Aye.
Mr. Darcy.
Aye.
Unanimous vote to approve the outdoor temporary one-day entertainment license for Kimaruka on behalf of Goodwill Hunters for the Duck Derby, October 1st.
I think this next one is the last one for Flannel Jam. This is a discussion and vote for an application of one-day entertainment's license for Flannel Jam LLC. Hearing no comments, then I would like to make a motion that the board moves to approve an outdoor temporary one-day entertainment license for Flannel Jam LLC, Phil Cash, for Levitate's Flannel Jam Fall Music Festival that will take place at the Marshfield Fairgrounds on Sunday, October 8th, of 2023, from 12 noon to 12 p.m. with the following types of entertainment. There will be dancing by patrons, there will be live music, dancing by entertainers, and there will be an amplification system. There will be tents and food will be served pending sign-off from the Marshfield Police Department, Board of Health, Building Department, and the Marshfield Fire Department. Look for a second.
10 p.m.
From
or 12 p.m.
10 p.m. to
From 12 noon to...
12 noon to 10 p.m. with the
Yes.
following types of entertainment.
Yes.
On Sunday, October 8th.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Unanimous to approve an outdoor temporary one-day entertainment license for Flannel Jam, October 8th, from 12 noon to 10 p.m.
Next one is discussion and vote on application for temporary entertainment license. Dean and Flynn are looking for any comments from the board. Hearing none, I'd like to move forward to make a motion that we approve an outdoor temporary one-day entertainment license for Dean and Flynn, Inc., Social Celebration of Lights of Seabrook, New Hampshire, at the Marshfield Fairgrounds for the Holiday Light Show from November 24th, 2023 through January 3rd, 2024, from 4 p.m. till 10 p.m., Sunday through Thursday, and 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. Friday and Saturday. All sound is within the car's radios, and all lights will be installed at ground level. Food will be served pending sign-off from the Marshfield Police Department, Marshfield Building Department, Marshfield Fire Department, and the Board of Health. Look for a second.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Unanimous approval for an outdoor temporary one-day entertainment license for Dean and Flynn South Shore Celebration of Lights, November 24th through January 3rd, 2024, from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. on Sundays and through Thursday, and 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. Friday and Saturday.
And the 20th item is that I would see if there's any comments to accept the minutes from the August 7th, 2023 meeting. Hearing no objection to accept them, I'd like to make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from August 7th, 2023 meeting. Look for a second.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to approve the minutes from August 7th, 2020.
And not to lengthen the meeting, that was also a little long, I would like to bring up one of Steve knows my favorite subjects. I would like to say that we do still have board vacancies on multiple boards, and we're always looking for solid people to serve the town. And with that, I would like to make a motion that we go into executive session and not return to public session. Look for a second.
Second.
Mr.
No? Did I
you
miss
need to-
something?
You need to read the whole,
You want me to read the whole thing?
Yes,
Oh, I have to read the
yeah,
whole thing.
yeah.
Let me find it. I would like to make a motion that we go into executive session to discuss the strategy with respect to a collective bargaining, and if conducted in open session, may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining position of the town. To conduct strategy sessions in preparation for negotiations with non-union personnel, or to conduct collective bargaining sessions or contract negotiations with non-union personnel, to discuss complaints or charges brought against a public employee, staff member, or individual pursuant to Mass General Laws C 30A, Section 21A, open and close parentheses, 1, open and close parentheses, to wit, an open meeting law complaint of John Cusick, and then not return to public session. Thank you, Mr. Administrator. Look for a second for that.
Second.
motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to go into executive session, not to return to public session.